The story unfolds in 2015, centered on Dynel Lane, a 35-year-old woman residing in Longmont, Colorado, with her fiancé, David Ridley. Dynel's personal history included a previous marriage that spanned roughly a decade, ending in her filing for divorce in 2007. From that union, she had raised two daughters, one 16 and the other 18 years old in 2015. Additionally, Dynel had experienced the profound loss of a son, born in 2000, who tragically drowned in a neighbor's pond when he was just 18 months old. Despite enduring such a devastating loss, Dynel maintained a reputation among her acquaintances as a cheerful and compassionate woman. Following her divorce, she remained unattached until meeting David Ridley in late 2012. David, like Dynel, brought children from a previous marriage, two daughters who lived with his ex-wife. Shortly after their connection, Dynel and her daughters integrated into David's household. In 2014, Dynel became pregnant, a development that initially didn't thrill David, who hadn't anticipated expanding his family further. However, everything shifted when they discovered the baby's gender, a boy. This revelation dramatically transformed David's perspective. With two daughters already from his previous marriage and now living with Dynel and her two daughters, the prospect of having a son, an heir, reinvigorated David's enthusiasm. The pregnancy became a source of genuine excitement for him. March 18, 2015, emerged as a pivotal date in their story. David and Dynel were scheduled for a medical consultation to investigate why her delivery was overdue. David's world was upended when he returned home around 2 p.m. to find Dynel bloodied at the bathroom entrance. David found Dynel crying. When he asked what happened, she claimed she'd gone into sudden labor. Entering the bathroom, he discovered a baby lying in the bathtub, blood-covered, with its mouth agape as if struggling to breathe. In that moment, David's sole focus was saving the child. He scooped up the infant, helped Dynel from the floor, and raced to their car, speeding toward the nearest hospital. During the drive, Dynel partially regained her composure. Upon arrival, she burst from the vehicle screaming, "Save my baby!" Medical staff attempted to comfort her, but she insisted they concentrate exclusively on the infant. Despite aggressive medical intervention, the baby was pronounced dead approximately 10 minutes after arrival. This moment devastated both Dynel and David. For Dynel, the tragedy carried an additional layer of emotional complexity, indirectly echoing her previous loss of a son. David's dreams of having an heir crumbled instantaneously. To understand the full context, we must rewind to earlier that morning. Dynel had recently posted an online advertisement offering free maternity clothes, anticipating her upcoming delivery. The ad caught the attention of 26-year-old Michelle Wilkins, who was 8 months pregnant. They arranged a meeting for the morning of March 18. Michelle arrived at Dynel's house that day. After receiving the promised clothing, the women spent over an hour discussing their anticipated motherhood, sharing hopes and expectations for their future children. During their conversation, Michelle shared that she and her husband were expecting a girl they'd already named Aurora. Dynel responded, "Oh, listen, since you're having a girl, I can give you some girls' baby clothes." They descended to the basement, specifically to one of Dynel's daughter's rooms. As Dynel rummaged through the closet, Michelle suddenly said, "Listen, maybe we shouldn't. I don't really need them. I should probably go." Michelle thanked Dynel and started climbing the stairs toward the exit. Unexpectedly, she was struck hard in the back and felt her sweater yanked, pulling her back into the room. It was Dynel, whose actions defied all rational explanation. She began violently attacking Michelle. Despite attempting to defend herself, Michelle was severely disadvantaged by her 8-month pregnancy. Dynel forcefully pushed Michelle onto the bed, grabbed a pillow, and attempted to smother her. Michelle's chaotic arm movements inadvertently knocked the pillow away. Enraged, Dynel seized a nearby lamp and smashed it against Michelle's head. Glass shards scattered across the bed. Dynel then grabbed a sharp fragment and stabbed Michelle in the neck. Pinning Michelle's arms down with her legs, Dynel left her victim almost completely defenseless. Exploiting this advantage, she pressed her full body weight onto Michelle's neck, choking her until she ultimately lost consciousness. What followed was nothing short of horrific. After Michelle became unconscious, Dynel went to the kitchen, retrieved a knife, and returned to the room. She made a massive incision spanning from one hip to the other, then surgically removed Michelle's unborn child from her womb, carrying it to the bathroom. Afterward, Dynel attempted to conceal evidence by disposing of the bloodied items from the room where the brutal assault had occurred. Dynel attempted to wash some items, while others she hastily stuffed into a garbage bag. Knowing David would arrive soon, she called him around 2 p.m., her voice surprisingly composed. To buy herself additional time, she asked him to pick up some documents from her daughter's school, ensuring she had extra minutes to clean up before his return. Upon David's arrival, Dynel fabricated a story about going into sudden labor, presenting the baby she had violently taken from Michelle as her own. This raises a critical question: what motivated such an unthinkable act? The truth was surprisingly calculated. Dynel wasn't actually pregnant. She had claimed pregnancy in May 2014 when their relationship was showing signs of strain, likely seeing this as a way to keep David committed to her. Throughout her fabricated pregnancy, she meticulously avoided taking David to medical appointments, purchased fake test results, and went to extraordinary lengths to maintain her elaborate deception. By February 2015, she had supposedly reached her 9th month of pregnancy. The fictitious due date was approaching, with no actual birth possible. In March, David insisted on accompanying her to a doctor to investigate the delayed delivery. Dynel knew she couldn't risk exposure. This desperation led her to post the advertisement about giving away maternity clothes, a calculated trap designed to lure a pregnant woman whose baby she intended to steal through this horrific scheme. Tragically, Michelle Wilkins became her unsuspecting victim. Dynel had violently cut Michelle's daughter from her womb and then orchestrated a fabricated premature birth for her husband. Chillingly, she appeared indifferent to the baby's survival. Her sole motivation was concealing her elaborate lie. This cruelty extended beyond Michelle's unimaginable suffering to David, who was completely unaware of the deception. Unlike Dynel's calculated performance, David genuinely and deeply mourned what he believed was his child. The story already seemed utterly unbelievable and beyond comprehension. But the horror was far from over. While Dynel and David were at the hospital, Michelle, despite suffering catastrophic injuries and experiencing massive blood loss, gradually regained consciousness.
An address of your emergency?
1620 Green Place.
1620 what?
Green Place.
I can't understand the street.
Green Place.
Green Place. Green like the color?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what happened.
She cut me.
Who cut you?
Downstairs. I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
I responded to.
Hang on.
Correct.
Hold on.
Please. I'm downstairs.
Okay, who cut you?
This girl I responded to was ready for Jack.
What did she cut you with?
A knife. I'm pregnant. She got me in my stomach.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
She cut you in your stomach?
I'm pregnant.
Okay.
I'm bleeding out.
I know you need to stay on the phone with me, okay? I'm getting everybody to you, okay?
And then my sister said I'm bleeding out.
I know, you stay with me, okay? I got everybody coming to help you. You stay on the phone. Don't hang up. Are you alone in the house?
I don't know.
You stay with me. Don't go to sleep. You stay with me. You're downstairs in the basement? And are you alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I locked the door.
Don't you go to sleep, okay? You stay on the phone with me. Can you tell me, did she have any other weapons besides a knife?
She broke a glass.
She broke a glass? Did she stab you with the broken glass also?
Yeah. How long?
They're on their way, okay?
Help. Help.
We got everybody in the way. They're trying to find you
I
now.
heard the doorbell ring. I heard the doorbell ring. Is that them? Help. Help.
She's downstairs.
Yeah, they're here. They're here.
Okay, I'll let you go.
With an extraordinary will to survive, Michelle managed to regain consciousness and call 911. The responding police officers were stunned by what they discovered in the room, even though Dynel had attempted to clean up somewhat. Upon approaching Michelle, the officer observed a massive wound on her abdomen, so severe that he could actually see her internal organs. Even more astonishingly, Michelle was transported to the same hospital where Dynel and David were present at that moment. The surgeon performing Michelle's operation noted that while the incision was crude, it was surprisingly precise, nearly as skillful as one made by a novice surgeon. This level of surgical competence was unsurprising, given that Dynel held a nursing license and had worked in a hospital for several years. Naturally, the discovery of a bloodied woman in David and Dynel's home immediately raised an overwhelming number of questions for the authorities. Initially, Dynel attempted to feign ignorance about the unfolding events. When law enforcement insisted on an ultrasound, the results revealed no evidence of her pregnancy. It became unequivocally clear that the infant she claimed as her own actually belonged to the bloodied woman discovered in her home. Cornered, Dynel fabricated an extraordinary narrative. She alleged that Michelle had appeared at her doorstep that morning, and after being invited inside, Michelle inexplicably grabbed a knife and began stabbing herself in the stomach before turning on Dynel. According to her account, she was merely defending herself and accidentally wounded Michelle, who subsequently lost consciousness. Believing she had killed her intruder, Dynel claimed she decided to save the baby from the woman who had allegedly attacked her. Her explanation for not contacting authorities was simple panic. Unsurprisingly, no one found this far-fetched story credible. Michelle Wilkins endured approximately 10 hours of surgical intervention. Despite suffering catastrophic injuries and experiencing massive blood loss, medical professionals successfully preserved her life. 2 days after the brutal attack, she regained consciousness, fragile and unable to speak, with her husband maintaining a vigil by her side. He softly broke the heartbreaking news to his wife, communicating that their beloved daughter Aurora had not survived the horrific attack. The trial of Dynel Lane occurred in 2016, resulting in her conviction for attempted murder and first-degree assault. The judicial system sentenced her to a total of 100 years in prison, effectively ensuring she would never experience freedom again. In an attempt to process and potentially heal from her traumatic experience, Michelle relocated to another city and transformed her identity, changing her name from Michelle to Ellie. While she miraculously survived the horrific assault, the physical aftermath irreparably impacted her reproductive capabilities, permanently preventing her from bearing children in the future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and support the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.